ladies, and welcome to my channel. My name is Aisha, aka Nurse Aisha. For those of you that are new here, welcome to our female to female conversations. And for the oldies but goodies, welcome back. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. All right, let's get started. Today is the World Diabetes Day. That goes for diabetes 1 and diabetes type 2, which is a lifestyle disease that I am going to talk more about. What you might not know about me is that I'm a diabetes nurse. I deal with patients that have been diagnosed with diabetes type 2. So what I do is after my patients get their diagnosis, they come to me for management and for information about how to live with diabetes type 2. So what we go through is a lifestyle change, complications, symptoms of different situations along the way. That is basically what I do. What is diabetes? Diabetes type 2 is the #1 fast-growing non-communicable disease. So it's mainly known as a lifestyle disease. And this is because of our habits. We're eating fast foods, bigger portions, we're not moving. Inactivity is one of the reasons why diabetes is growing, and also overweight. So many people around the world are being diagnosed with diabetes type 2. And that is why it's the fast-growing non-communicable disease. What are the symptoms that you need to look out for if you think that you have diabetes? Well, there are very many symptoms to diabetes type 2. And they can be vague, or you might not even feel them at all. So one of them is fatigue, weight loss, nausea. Some people experience heavy urination. You're running to the toilet over and over again. Smoking, drinking, and inactivity. These are reasons why many people are getting diabetes type 2. Now, the symptoms that might occur when you get diabetes are usually excessive weight loss, fatigue, blurred vision, frequent urination. All right, so many people normalize their symptoms, such as frequent urination. They might think that they're drinking a lot of water because most times you feel very thirsty and you drink, which leads to you urinating a lot. So diabetes type 2 is a very common lifestyle disease. Now, another reason that you might get diabetes could be heritage. As Africans, we have higher risk to develop diabetes type 2. Asian people have a higher risk to develop diabetes type 2, as well as African Caribbean people. So your heritage could be a reason behind your diabetes diagnosis. So let's talk about complications for diabetes type 2. I like to talk in pictures with my patients. Now, it sounds as though I'm working with kids, but I don't. I work with grown people. But sometimes it's easier to understand when you use pictures. Oh, do you see that? So obviously, this is in the Swedish language. Diabetes komplikationer, diabetes complications. But there are pictures of the different organs and feet as well, where you can get complications. This is a really bad shot, but I'll try. So obviously, the #1 complication is high blood pressure. There's the stroke. So in the picture, if you could see, there are plaque. What's it called? Plaque. So there's a risk for stroke. There's the feet sores. There's the heart disease, diabetes nephropathy, which is basically the kidney failure or the kidney complications. And there's the nerve damage. There's a nice picture of the nerve. There's the impotence. Obviously, there's a penis there, but we'll talk more about that. This is not only for the men counterpart, it's also for the female. And then there's the digestion issues and also the diabetes retinopathy, which is basically the eye problems, which can lead to blindness. That is usually a picture that I show. It's easier to talk to people sometimes in picture, so to say, to explain. It's kind of softer and it's received very well with my patients. And yeah, so that's how I explain some of the complications. Obviously, I have more pictures, but that was one of the pictures that I usually show my patients. Treatment. So when you get diagnosed with diabetes type 2, your doctor will prescribe the medication that you need accordingly. Now, 9 times out of 10, people usually get treatment in tablet form. But depending on your blood sugar levels, you might get insulin. And this is usually very shocking and very hard to grasp for many people. And I understand that. But the reason why we're here as nurses is to take you through this journey when you get your insulin treatment. And that is what we're going to go through at some point. What it means to get insulin treatment as a diabetic type 2, because usually insulin treatment is linked to diabetes type 1. But many people with diabetes type 2 also need insulin treatment. So what I do, my role as a diabetic nurse, is to give you instructions on how and when to take your medication. Obviously, as you're on treatment, especially if you have insulin, it's very important with monitoring your blood sugar. And that is also what we go through in our meetings with the patient. So what I do is when I receive people with diabetes, is I go through the treatment, whatever they've been put on, even the tablets. I need to tell you about the side effects and what to do if you get these side effects. Usually you have to stop treatment and contact your general practitioner. That is very important because you don't want to go with complications or side effects for a long time, because that could also be an issue that could get you other types of complications. All right, so now you have your treatment, but you also need to monitor your blood sugar levels. And how do you do that? Now, depending on where you live, you might have different ways that you manage or monitor your blood sugars. Now, I can only tell you of what I know. Now, if you live here in this beautiful country, you will get a blood sugar monitor for free from the government. And this is something that we need to discuss. Not many people have access to blood sugar monitors. They're really expensive, but necessary. So depending on the situation in the country that you live in, you might need to buy yourself a blood sugar monitor. And it's most time very much needed to monitor your blood sugars. So you know when you need more medication, if that's your treatment regime or not. All right, ladies, so in the next episode, we'll talk more about diabetes type 2, and we'll focus on how to live with the disease, how to travel as a diabetes type 2 patient, but also preventative methods. Preventative methods are also key here, especially if you haven't got your diagnosis yet, or you haven't got a diagnosis. It's very important with preventative health. Stay tuned.